Alright, boys and girls. I'm laying back here, and y'all know when we get to thinking about what's going on, a lot of stuff comes back to our mind, right? Well, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we can't just sit up here and make accusations, right? We can't just sit up here and put the blame, but we can only go by facts, okay? So, from my observation, this is Renee's observation on what she saw on yesterday. I think it was it around 9? Was it 9 or 10? Angel came and said, Mama, yellow tape is all over the streets. Something happened. I laid here for a little while and I said, let me go see what my kids are doing out here. So I walked out and I thought it was Hispanic, right? It was black. I saw the boy crying. I said, what is he crying for? I don't see no body. And then they showed me his body over by the trash can. Okay. What did I hear from that point on? There was a black chick who walked out. She was angry. She came from the opposite direction. As soon as she came from that direction, we couldn't see what was going on, but the police officers come behind her. He parks right in front of her. Now get this. I wish I had my camera the first time I went out there because it was hilarious. That's when I need my camera. But I have this big old iPad, and this iPad is not giving me any justice. So I had a phone. I can just throw the camera on them real quick, right? They can't see the camera in my hand because I don't want the police officers to get to acting up because I'm not dealing good with police officers and government right now. And so, I don't want to be, and I know they can't touch me, but I don't want to be in any trouble because, the camera would have been better though. Let's just say that. But this is my own observation. Black girl come out walking real fast. This big old truck, so we couldn't see what was around it. I know what happened. I know what happened. And so everybody stopped and looked at her. So she started, G-Man, come here, G-Man. You know how they do it. She was calling somebody, one of the black guys. Come, step aside over here. Come on. So she come get him and walks him back toward the big truck and start talking to him. Now, mind you, policemen don't know what happened. He come riding from the same way she come. He parks on side of the truck. He gets out and walk right over there to her. Okay? So they start saying something. I don't know what happened. She said she knew what happened. So he walked back over here toward the other police officers. By that time, because she came out like that, like she really knew something, I said, come on, Angel, let me take you back in the house. But I was really going in the house to get my iPad. So after I got the iPad and everything, I came back in because I didn't hear anything. I just know they started grouping up outside, Hispanics, because we in most Hispanic. The black stayed in the middle. But the Hispanics, they started grouping up on the side, discussing what was going on. I came in the house and went back outside. When I went back outside, I didn't have my iPad, which I should have had it. Ooh, I got to get me a phone today. I got to get me a phone. But, because I get so much information, I can get conversations on the phone. But I came outside and the girl next door, now hear this. This is the good part. The girl next door to the right is the same one that her boyfriend or husband, whoever he was, fell on the porch that night. They gonna get me. They gonna shoot me. Remember that? All the glass breaking. It was them. And rumor was she's a geeker. All right. Can I make my investigation now? Okay. My investigation, if I was to investigate with the information that I know, the first thing I would do is go get the girl. Because she said this. There was no body. If the police officer knew that there was a body right there, and she said there was no body, and I passed by, and she was the one who also said that the ski mask, there was a guy trying to score crack out on the street. He was angry already. I'm not being funny. I'm not going to accuse her of crack, but she's been scratching. You can look at people that look like she had a rough night. They need to investigate. I'm not being funny, and maybe people, but she was saying, well, that's what they said. I don't know how long she was out there. Like I said, I went on the inside. I don't know. I just know when I came back out, she came up to me. I asked what they found out anything, and she started telling me about the tennis shoes. He had no tennis shoes on his feet. There was a geeker with a ski mask riding around, and that could be plotted too. Now, I'm not putting accusation, but this is what you do when you investigate. The news people came out, and they did not come over like through the people in the like they used to back in the days. Police officers walk around and ask questions. No one's doing their jobs anymore. Come on, ask them questions. But you know what? Maybe because they got the satellite Satellite can tell them a whole lot. And then someone said that big old truck made it here too fast. I don't know what truck that was. You see, that was the Mark truck or something, because it wasn't not a news unless he didn't come on outside. The news wasn't out there at first, unless he didn't come over there where we were, and he stayed on the other side, because I didn't see a newsman nor a camera. I saw the newsman come after the body was taken, and I don't know how long they had been out there, but I do know this: by the time we got out there and left, they started taking the yellow tape down, but the body was still out there. So I didn't see anyone come and pick up the body, but when I went back out there, which was about a good 5-10 minutes later, the body was gone. They had already taken it up. And so again, we didn't make it out there when everything, first occurred. Back in the days that you normally had the sirens. I'm laying up in the bed, I didn't even hear no sirens. Sirens are telling neighbors, hey, something going on, come look, since y'all, and so many, here's some more good news. The neighbor to the left, not the one to the right, the one to the left. The one to the left is the one that says she heard the gunshots at 3 o'clock, but they wasn't over here. They sounded like they were further away. Now, when I walked across the street, there was another one that came up to me, Hispanic chick, and said she heard them too, and it was around 3 o'clock. They gave the absolute same time. Yeah, they gave the same time. Yes, they did. And so, I don't know. Like I said, I was up at 3. I didn't hear it, but I know I heard something around 5. And somebody said there was no blood. His family, or the girl that was talking to his mother, she said they were already discussing, and she said there was no blood there. So he was shot, and then they have rumors out there that they were in a fight, So who knows? It was supposed not a gang fight, just a regular fight, So who knows? You're hearing so much. There's so many people are talking. The streets have ears. They have eyes. That's too close to even do in broad daylight. So how is it that the lady didn't see a body and she walked by there? We have traffic going back and forth by that area. In fact, Jeremiah and I would have walked up to that store. They have a donut place right there on the corner. We would have walked to the donut place at that time of the morning. And if that body was left out there, someone should have seen it at that time of morning. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to put the blame on anyone, but that's what an investigation does. You don't come out and just take the news and put it out there. You have to sit out there for a while and mingle with the people. Find out what happened. I still stress this part. We're just getting paid. What happened to the passion of working and loving your jobs, where you go out in the community and find out if you're a police officer? My job is to do something right, the truth, arrest. It's not to sit back there and say, I'm cool, I'm a police officer. Whatever happened within my range, that's what I'm going to deal with. No. You have to go out there and search. That's what the police officer, they look, they search. Yeah. And so nowadays we got criminals in the force. And then too, why is it? Here it is. I'm going to tell you this. I said it earlier. Why we have Caucasian? It's not because of Caucasian. I really believe Castro and Governor Perry has a lot to do with a lot of these blacks losing their jobs. Y'all don't want to speak the truth. Hispanics like them, they call them niggas. They're considered niggas too, because they will hit their own. Yes, they would. Hispanics like that would always keep a white person. There are some whites and Hispanics, especially those the third world countries. They're used to being so controlled. They will keep a white man over them. They're afraid to hit whites. That's why I said the same thing about Obama. They're afraid to hit whites. They won't touch Caucasians. They won't. They won't touch Caucasians. They'll touch their own or someone else of a lesser class. They'll hit dark-skinned, brown-skinned people, which includes all of us. So why is it that we don't have any blacks on the force? Why is it that someone has to say something before you have one black that you probably went out, picked out of 1 out of 100 to come out just to show we have a black on the force? Why is it that we don't see a balance down in San Antonio? This is not originally Caucasian land unless there's a Bush. There was a Bush that was president. Maybe it has something to do with Bush, We got to understand that racism is in a company where you don't see a joint or a combination of the same type of or different type of folks. We need to see the variety in San Antonio. I don't want to see all Caucasian, because we are citizens. And I love Caucasians, but I don't want to see a police force, especially one like this when there was a black crime. I would like to see some blacks out there who's going to have a heart, and maybe a touch of racism, but they'll say, okay, something wrong here. Let's find out what happened out in this predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, especially after accusations they're going to start popping them. We're not going to just let that sit like that. Now, Caucasian folks, they're very, what is the word I'm looking for? Empathetic? Yeah. Concern, that's not the word, it's another word out there, but we know some of them. But then there's still some racism. There's still some that won't take no mess from Hispanic and black, even